Have you ever felt like the entire world is spinning out of control? Like there's a whirlwind around you, endless work deadlines, family responsibilities piling up, a phone that never stops buzzing with messages and calls. It's exhausting, isn't it? It feels like everything and everyone is pulling you in 100 directions, and all you want is just one breath of peace. I understand that feeling because I've been there, too. We all have. But here's something you might not have realized. Chaos doesn't only exist outside of you. It's not just the traffic jams, the back-to-back meetings, or the unexpected life challenges. Chaos also lives inside on the constant stream of thoughts racing through your mind, in that endless noise of what-ifs and worries that keep you awake at night. But what if I told you this? You can become the calm in the middle of the storm. Would you believe me? Would you believe that even when life feels like it's falling apart, you can still stand firm-centered, peaceful, and strong? You see, calmness isn't something that happens when life is easy. Calmness is something we choose, something we build especially when life feels hard. Today, I'm going to share with you real, practical emotional mastery tips tools you can use not just to survive chaos, but to transform it into clarity and power. These are techniques that I personally use during some of the most challenging moments of my life. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed that when you panic, things seem worse than they are? That your emotions spiral out of control the moment you let fear take over. The truth is, we can't always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And that response, or ability to stay calm, will define the quality of your life more than any storm you face. So, if you're tired of letting chaos control you, if you're ready to find your center, no matter what life throws your way, stay with me until the very end of this video. Because by the time you finish watching, I believe you'll not only understand how to find calm, you'll feel it. You'll discover a sense of clarity and inner power that you didn't even know was there. And who knows? The storm you're facing right now might just be the very thing that leads you to your strongest, most grounded self. So, take a deep breath with me. Let go of whatever noise has been running through your mind. This is your time. This is your moment to reset. Let's dive in. Have you ever found yourself asking, why is this happening to me? Maybe it's a traffic jam on the one day you're already late. Maybe it's someone at work who always seems to push your buttons. Or maybe it's one of those moments when your plans carefully made, perfectly time-adjusted fall apart. It's frustrating, isn't it? You feel this wave of stress and anger rising up, and before you know it, the chaos outside starts to become chaos inside. But here's the truth most people don't want to admit: you can't control everything. Life is unpredictable. Things will go wrong. People will disappoint you. And the more you fight that reality, the more exhausted you become. So what's the real secret to staying calm? It's not about controlling the storm. It's about learning to stand still in the middle of it. The power of acceptance. The first step to emotional mastery, the first step to staying calm in chaos is acceptance. Not resignation. Not giving up. But acceptance. You see, most of our stress doesn't come from what actually happens. It comes from our resistance to what's happening. We create a war in our own minds by thinking, this shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. But life doesn't always play by our rules. Traffic jams will happen, no matter how much we honk our horn. Weather will change, no matter how tightly we hold on to our plans. People will act in ways we don't expect, no matter how much we wish they wouldn't. So what if, instead of fighting life, you chose to flow with it? What if, when something goes wrong, your first thought wasn't, why me? But okay, this is what's happening. Now, how can I respond? The moment of choice. Here's something powerful to remember. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Think about that for a second. Isn't it freeing? You don't need to control every detail of the universe. You only need to control yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. So the next time you feel that knot in your stomach, the frustration bubbling up, try this. Take a slow, deep breath. Pause for just a second. And tell yourself, this is happening. I may not like it, but I choose how I react. This small shift, this decision to respond instead of react, is where true power lies. Wisdom from the ancients. Thousands of years ago, the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote something that still resonates today. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Isn't that incredible? Even centuries ago, They understood something we still struggle with today. Peace isn't found by controlling the world, it's found by controlling our minds. The storm outside might be raging, but the storm inside, that's yours to calm. That's yours to master. A simple example. Let me give you a simple example from my own life. Not long ago, I missed a really important meeting. Why? Because I got stuck in the worst traffic I've ever seen. For 10 minutes, I was furious. I pounded the steering wheel. I told myself, this is the worst thing that could happen. Why today, of all days? But then I realized that no amount of anger was going to make the cars move faster. My stress wasn't helping me. In fact, it was making me feel worse. So I stopped. I took a deep breath. And I thought, okay, I can't control the traffic. But I can use this time to think, to prepare, to be calm. That small shift turned frustration into focus. And when I finally arrived, instead of being angry and flustered, I was ready. A question for you. Let me ask you something. Where in your life right now are you fighting something you can't control? Is there a situation that's stealing your peace, not because of what's happening, but because of the story you're telling yourself about it? Think about it. Maybe the real challenge isn't to change the situation. Maybe the challenge is to change your relationship with it. A practical step for you today. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you feel stressed, pause and ask yourself, what's really within my control right now? What's not? Write it down if you can. Separate the two. Focus only on what you can influence and let go of the rest. It's like trying to hold sand in your hands. Tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. Sometimes, letting go is the strongest thing you can do. Final thought. Remember this. Acceptance doesn't mean you agree with what's happening. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you stop wasting energy on things you can't change and use that energy to show up stronger where it truly matters. You have the power to choose peace, even when life is anything but peaceful. And when you master that, no chaos will ever truly shake you. Have you ever noticed what happens to your body when you're stressed? Your heart pounds faster. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts start racing, like you're trapped in a storm you can't escape. But here's something most people don't realize. The fastest way to calm your mind isn't to think harder, it's to breathe better. Your breath is your inner anchor. It's the one thing you always have with you, no matter where you are, no matter what chaos is happening around you. And when you learn to control it, you can take back control of your emotions within seconds. Why your breath is your superpower. When life feels overwhelming, most of us do the opposite of what we should: hold our breath or breathe in short, shallow bursts. And that tells the body, I'm in danger. I need to panic. But when you slow down your breath, when you breathe deeply and fully, you send a powerful message to your nervous system. You are safe. You are in control. Think about this. Have you ever been so stressed that someone said, just take a deep breath, and it worked even a little? That's not just a cliche. That's science. Deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which literally tells your brain to relax. A simple breathing technique that works anywhere. Let me give you a powerful, simple exercise that only takes 12 minutes, but can change everything in the middle of chaos. It's called box breathing, used by athletes, public speakers, even Navy SEALs, before they step into high-pressure situations. Here's how it works. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And repeat. That's it. Sounds simple, right? But if you practice it for even just 12 minutes, something incredible happens. Your heart rate slows. Your mind clears. The storm inside you quiets down. An example you can try right now. In fact, let's try it together. Wherever you are, pause. Put your phone down for a second. Close your eyes if you can. Now, take a slow breath in for 12:34. Hold for 4. Exhale for 12:34. Hold for 4. How do you feel? A little calmer already. That's the power of your breath. Stories from the world's toughest minds. Do you know who uses this technique every single day? Navy SEALs. These are people who face life or death situations. They can't afford to panic. They've trained their minds to stay calm because staying calm can mean the difference between life and death. If they can use breathing to face bullets and bombs, imagine what it can do for you in traffic, in a tough meeting, or during an argument with someone you love. Why we forget to breathe and how to fix it. The funny thing is, Breathing is something we do every single second of our lives. But when was the last time you actually paid attention to it? Most of us don't. We take shallow breaths especially when we're stressed, and we don't realize that we're making ourselves more anxious. So, here's a simple challenge for you. The next time you feel stressed, ask yourself, how am I breathing right now? Then, deliberately slow it down. Place a hand on your belly and feel it rise as you breathe in, then fall as you breathe out. That's how you know you're breathing fully. Breath as a reset button. Your breath is like a reset button for your body and mind. Think of all the times you wished you could just stop your racing thoughts after a mistake at work, after a fight, or during a moment when you're about to make a big decision. What if, instead of reacting, you paused for just 30 seconds and focused on your breath? Wouldn't you show up calmer, stronger, more grounded? A personal experience. I remember once, before a big speech, I was terrified. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding, and my mind was full of what if I fail. But then I closed my eyes and did 5 rounds of box breathing. Just 5. By the time I opened my eyes, my heart rate had dropped, and I felt steady ready. That speech turned out to be one of the best I've ever given. Not because I magically stopped being nervous, but because I learned how to master my state from the inside out. A question for you. So let me ask you, where in your life could mastering your breath change everything? Could it be in those heated moments when you're about to say something you'll regret? Could it be when you feel the pressure of deadlines and can't think straight? Or maybe when life throws something at you that feels too big to handle? Your breath is always there, waiting to guide you back to peace. You just have to use it. Closing thought. Remember this, your breath is the bridge between chaos and clarity. You can't always stop the storm outside, but with just a few slow breaths, you can calm the storm inside. Next time you feel the world pressing in on you, don't try to fight it. Just pause, breathe, find your center. Because once you master your breath, you'll find that you've already taken the first step to mastering your mind. Have you ever noticed how sometimes the situation itself isn't what truly stresses you out, but the story you tell yourself about it? Think about it. Your boss gives you some feedback. That's a fact. But suddenly, your mind jumps to, I must be terrible at my job. I'm failing. I'm not good enough. That's not a fact. That's a story. We do this all the time. We take a single event, a comment, a look, a small mistake, and we create an entire narrative around it. And before we know it, that narrative becomes heavier than the reality itself. The stories that we create. The truth is, most situations are neutral. They don't have meaning until we give them meaning. Let me ask you, how many times have you assumed someone was upset with you just because of their tone or a quick text reply? And later, you found out they weren't upset at all, they were just busy or tired. We create stories. And these stories are powerful. They can either build us up or break us down. Chaos lives in our stories. Here's the thing. Chaos often isn't in the event itself. Chaos is in the story you keep telling yourself. Your brain takes a simple situation and starts spinning. What if I lose my job? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm always going to fail? And suddenly, what started as one small piece of feedback turns into a storm of self-doubt. But let me tell you something powerful. You are not your story. You are the storyteller. And that means you can rewrite the narrative at any time. A practical question that changes everything. Next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself one simple question. What's the fact you're reading? What's the story I'm adding? This simple question creates space. It allows you to separate what's actually happening from the drama your mind is building. For example, fact, I made a mistake at work. Story, I'm incompetent, I'll never succeed. The fact is neutral. The story is optional. Which one are you going to focus on? A personal story. I remember a time when I sent the wrong email to an important client. It wasn't a huge mistake, but in my head, I turned it into a full-blown disaster. I'm so careless. They'll never trust me again. I've ruined everything. But when I stepped back and looked at the facts, I realized something. The client barely noticed. I fixed it within minutes. The real storm wasn't in the mistake, it was in my head. Why we tell negative stories? Why do we do this to ourselves? Because our brains are wired for survival. Thousands of years ago, assuming the worst kept us alive. If we heard a noise in the bushes, it was safer to think, that's a tiger, rather than, it's probably just the wind. But today, that same survival instinct creates unnecessary anxiety. We don't have tigers chasing us anymore who have emails, deadlines, and traffic. And our brains still tell us scary stories, even when we're safe. Rewriting your story. The good news is, you can rewrite your story. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, stop and ask, is that a fact? Or is it just a thought, a story, a fear? What would happen if you replaced that story with a better one? Instead of, I failed, what if you said, I learned something valuable here? Instead of, I'm not good enough, what if you said, I'm growing, I'm improving, I'm still learning? An exercise you can do right now. Here's something powerful you can try today. Think of a situation that's been stressing you out. Write down the facts, just the facts, no judgment. Then, write down the story you've been telling yourself about it. When you see it on paper, you'll notice how often your story is far scarier than reality. And once you see that, you can choose to let it go. A question for you. Let me ask you this. What story are you telling yourself right now that might be holding you back? Is it a story about not being good enough? A story about what someone else thinks of you? A story about failure that hasn't even happened yet? What would your life look like if you stopped believing that story? Closing thought. Remember this. Life is mostly neutral. It's our interpretation that gives it meaning. You have the power to shift from chaos to clarity simply by separating fact from fiction. The next time your mind starts spinning, pause and ask, what's real here and what's just a story? Because when you master that, you don't just calm your mind, you take back control of your life. Have you ever noticed how your mind loves to pull you into the past or drag you into the future? You start thinking about the mistakes you made last week, the things you wish you could change. Or maybe you're worrying about tomorrow, about deadlines, bills, or that one conversation you're scared to have. It feels endless, doesn't it? Like your mind is constantly stuck between regret and fear. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't live in the past, and it doesn't live in the future. Peace only exists right here, in this very moment. The illusion of time. When chaos hits, our first instinct is to replay every wrong decision or predict every possible disaster that hasn't even happened yet. But think about this right now, in this exact second. Are you safe? Are you breathing? Are you alive? Most of the time, the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, then you are okay. The chaos is only in your mind. The gift of presence. There's a reason they call it the present, because it's a gift. When you fully focus on this moment, when you let go of yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's fears, you discover something incredible. The present moment is enough. You don't have to fix the past. You don't have to solve the future. All you need to do is be here, now. A simple grounding exercise. So, how do we bring our mind back to the present when it's spinning out of control? Here's a simple but powerful technique called the 5-4-3-1 grounding exercise. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, stop and notice. 5 things you can see. Look around, maybe it's the color of the walls, the light coming through a window, or the texture of your desk. 4 things you can touch. Feel your clothes, your chair, the floor beneath your feet. 3 things you can hear. Maybe it's the sound of your breath, birds outside, or the faint hum of the world around you. 2 things you can smell. Take a deep breath with sense. Do you notice? 1 thing you can taste. Even if it's just the taste in your mouth, acknowledge it. By the time you finish, something amazing happens. Your mind slows down, your heart rate drops, and you feel here. Now, a real-life moment of presence. I remember one day when I felt like everything was collapsing around me. Deadlines, arguments, that heavy, suffocating feeling of I can't handle this. But then I paused. I looked around the room. I noticed a simple cup of coffee on my desk. I felt the warmth of the mug. I heard the rain outside. I took a slow sip and just stopped. And for that 1 minute, nothing else mattered. Not the past, not the future. Just that warm, quiet, present moment. It was small, but it was powerful. The mind is like a wild horse. Here's the thing. Your mind is like a wild horse. It wants to run everywhere at once. It wants to sprint into the past, leap into the future. But you are the rider. And when you take the reins, when you guide your mind back to this moment to discover your true strength. So, how do you take those reins? You start with awareness. Ask yourself, what is real right now? Am I safe in this exact moment? Because most of the time, the answer is yes. What happens when you live in the present? When you focus on the present, something shifts. You're no longer stuck in what was or what might be. You start to see the beauty in small things, the way the sunlight hits your window, the sound of your own laughter, the simple joy of breathing. And when you live in the present, you become calmer. You stop overthinking. You make better decisions because your mind isn't clouded with regret or fear. A question for you. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly felt present? Not checking your phone. Not thinking about what's next. Just here, in the moment. What would happen if you made space for that every single day, even just 5 minutes? A small daily practice. Here's a challenge for you. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone or jump into your to-do list, pause. Take a deep breath. Notice what's around you. Say to yourself, I am here. I am alive. I am safe. This moment is enough. Do that, and you'll be surprised how much calmer your entire day feels. Closing thought. Remember this, the present moment is your sanctuary. No matter how loud the world gets, no matter how many storms come your way, you can always find peace right here, right now. The past is gone. The future hasn't arrived. But this moment, it's yours. So, what are you going to do with it? Will you let your mind wander to fear and regret, or will you choose to be fully alive, fully present, right here, in this beautiful now? Have you ever gone through something so difficult that, at the time, it felt impossible to survive, but later, when you looked back, you realized it changed you for the better? Think about it. Was there a failure that taught you more than any success ever could? Was there a heartbreak that made you stronger, wiser, and more aware of your own worth? We all have these moments that shake us to our core. Moments we wish would just disappear. But what if I told you that hidden inside every challenge is a seed, a lesson, a gift that can transform your life if you're willing to see it? The teacher called chaos. What if, instead of fearing chaos, you treated it like a teacher? What if every difficulty, every storm, every setback was actually guiding you toward a better version of yourself? When life knocks us down, our first instinct is often to ask, why me? Why is this happening? But what if, instead, you asked, what can I learn from this? How can this shape me? A personal perspective. I remember a time when I faced what felt like a massive failure, something that, at that moment, made me feel small, broken, and completely lost. I thought I'd never recover. But looking back now, I see it clearly. That moment wasn't the end, it was the beginning of something better. It forced me to grow, to rethink who I was, and to build something stronger than I ever imagined. The wisdom of Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill once said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Isn't that powerful? It means that no matter how bad it feels right now, there's something waiting for you on the other side of the pain. You just have to be brave enough to look for it. Chaos as a mirror. Here's the thing. Chaos doesn't just happen to you, it reveals you. It shows you what you're made of. It shows you where your strengths lie and where you need to grow. Think about a storm. When the winds blow, you see which trees have the deepest roots. The same is true for us. Chaos shows us where we are deeply rooted and where we're not. A mindset shift. So the real question isn't, how do I avoid chaos? Because let's be honest, you can't. Life will always have storms. The real question is, how do I use this chaos to grow? What if you started seeing every challenge as a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block? What if you believe that this current difficulty isn't here to break you, but to prepare you for something bigger? An exercise you can do. Here's something you can try today. Think about one challenge you're facing right now. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What strength is this forcing me to develop? Write down 3 positive things that could come out of this situation, even if you don't see them clearly yet. You'll be surprised how much power this simple exercise can give you. Examples of growth through chaos. History is full of people who turned chaos into greatness. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company before coming back to build Apple into what it is today. Oprah Winfrey went through trauma and setbacks that could have broken anyone, yet she turned them into fuel for her success. Even great leaders, artists, and thinkers often say their most painful experiences became the foundation for their greatest achievements. If they can do it, why not you? A question for you. Let me ask you, what's one chaotic moment in your life that, when you look back, actually helped you grow? And what chaos are you facing today that might one day become your greatest teacher? Sometimes, the pain we're in now is simply the universe's way of preparing us for something we can't see yet. Closing thought. Remember this: chaos is not your enemy, it's your coach. It might not feel like it in the moment. It might hurt. It might scare you. But if you can step back, breathe, and ask, what can I learn? You will find strength you never knew you had. So the next time life feels overwhelming, remind yourself, this isn't the end. This is the lesson. This is the seed of something greater. Have you ever felt like the world is just too loud? The notifications keep buzzing, the news is filled with chaos, and your mind is constantly racing with 100 thoughts that never seem to stop. Here's the truth: you can't always control the storm outside, but you can create a calm oasis inside yourself. Why you need your own peace island? Think about it like this: our minds are like smartphones. If you never plug your phone into the charger, eventually, the battery dies. We're the same. When we keep running, working, and worrying without giving our minds a break, we burn out. That's why creating moments of stillness, your own oasis of peace, isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The power of just 5 minutes. You don't need hours of meditation or a weekend retreat in the mountains to find peace. Sometimes, 5 minutes is all it takes. What would happen if, each morning, instead of scrolling through your phone, you sat in silence for just 5 minutes? No distractions, no noise, just you, your breath, and this moment. That 5 minutes can feel like pressing a reset button for your mind. It's like starting your day with a clean slate instead of carrying yesterday's stress into today. Journaling, clearing the mental clutter. Another way to create your peace oasis is by journaling. When your mind feels cluttered, when thoughts are spinning out of control, writing them down is like opening a window and letting the air in. You don't need to be a writer. You don't need fancy words. Just ask yourself, what's on my mind right now? And let the pen flow. Sometimes, the simple act of putting your thoughts on paper can help you see solutions you couldn't see before. It's like clearing fog from a mirror. The magic of nature. When was the last time you went outside, really outside, without your phone, without an agenda, just to walk and breathe? There's something powerful about nature. The sound of the wind, the smell of the earth, the feel of fresh air, it pulls you back into the present moment. Next time you feel overwhelmed, step outside. Even a 10-minute walk in the park can calm your mind and reset your energy. A personal story. I remember a time when I was under extreme pressure, deadlines, calls, a schedule that left me no time to breathe. My mind was exhausted, but I kept pushing. One day, I decided to do something simple. I sat down in silence. No phone, no work. I just breathed and wrote down everything I was feeling in my journal. It took only 10 minutes, but something shifted. I felt lighter, calmer. That day, I realized that peace isn't something we wait for, it's something we create. Why we resist stillness? Isn't it funny how we avoid the very thing that can help us? We say, I'm too busy to sit still. But the truth is, if you're too busy to take 5 minutes for yourself, that's when you need it the most. Stillness doesn't waste your time. It gives you back time, because a calm mind makes better decisions, works more efficiently, and handles challenges with strength. How to build your peace oasis starting today. Here's how you can start creating your own oasis of peace. Morning silence. Spend the first 5 minutes of your day sitting quietly. No phone, no distractions, just breathe and set an intention for your day. Daily journaling. Take a few minutes to write down what's on your mind. It's like taking out the mental trash so your thoughts feel lighter. Nature walks once a day, even for 10 minutes. Go outside and connect with the world around you. Feel the air. Listen to the sounds. Notice the colors. A question for you. Let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you gave yourself just 10 minutes every day to pause and recharge? Would you feel calmer, more focused, more in control? Try it for 1 week. Create your little peace island and see how it changes the way you handle life storms. Closing thought. Remember this: you may not be able to control the storm, but you can always control the state of your inner world. Peace isn't something you find, it's something you choose. And the more you practice creating those little oases of calm, the stronger and more resilient you'll be when life gets tough. So, what's one simple thing you can do today to create your own moment of peace? Start small. Just 5 minutes. Because sometimes, 5 minutes is all you need to change everything. Have you ever stopped to think about how much chaos you allow into your own life every single day? The endless notifications. The arguments that don't matter. The hours spent scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to people who don't even know you exist. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the truth. Not every chaos deserves your attention. And the sooner you learn to set boundaries, the sooner you'll find your peace again. The power of saying no. We live in a world that constantly demands our attention. There's always something trying to pull us into drama, whether it's toxic conversations, negative news, or people who drain your energy. But let me ask you this. How often do you pause and ask, does this really deserve my energy? My peace? When you start asking that question, something amazing happens. You realize that most of the chaos in your life isn't actually yours to carry. The cost of letting chaos in. Think about this. How many times have you walked away from social media feeling worse about yourself than when you started? How many conversations have you stayed in arguments, gossip that left you mentally exhausted? How many people in your life leave you feeling drained instead of uplifted? The truth is, your mental peace is the most valuable thing you own. Why give it away so easily? Setting boundaries isn't selfish. Some people think setting boundaries means you're being cold or selfish. But in reality, boundaries are an act of self-respect. Would you let someone come into your home and make a mess of your living room? Then why let people or things make a mess of your mind? You have every right to say, no, I don't have time for this negativity. No, I'm not scrolling through toxic content that makes me feel small. No, I won't let this conversation ruin my day. A personal lesson. I used to think I had to engage with everything, every problem, every argument, every piece of news. But I realized the more I opened the door to chaos, the more I lost myself. One day, I asked myself, is this worth losing my peace over? The answer was almost always no. So I started setting boundaries. I stopped replying to messages that were pure drama. I turned off notifications. I walked away from conversations that didn't feel healthy. And you know what? My life became quieter. Not empty, just peaceful. And in that peace, I found more focus, more clarity, and more happiness. Your energy is limited. Think of your energy like a cup of water. Every time you pay attention to negativity or chaos, you pour a little bit of that water out. If you keep pouring into things that don't matter, soon you'll have nothing left for the people and goals that actually do matter. So the question is, where are you pouring your energy today? A practical challenge. Here's a simple exercise. For the next 24 hours, notice every time something tries to steal your attention. A negative comment. A news story that makes you anxious. A conversation full of gossip. Before reacting, pause and ask, does this deserve my peace? If the answer is no, walk away. It's okay to disconnect. We often forget that we can choose what we allow into our minds. It's okay to turn off your phone for a few hours. It's okay to mute accounts that make you feel negative. It's okay to spend less time with people who always bring drama into your life. Your peace matters more than someone else's temporary opinion. A question for you. So, let me ask you, what's one thing or one person that's been draining your energy lately? And what would happen if you set a boundary today? Would your life feel lighter? Would you have more mental space to focus on what truly matters? Closing thought. Remember this. Chaos will always knock at your door, but you get to decide whether to open it. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable treasure, because it is. The next time you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath and ask yourself, does this really deserve my attention? If the answer is no, let it go. Because when you stop feeding chaos, you give yourself the freedom to grow, to focus, and to live a life that feels calm, intentional, and deeply fulfilling. Have you ever felt so caught up in chaos that you just wished you could escape even for a moment? We all have. Sometimes life gets so noisy, so overwhelming, that we forget we have a powerful tool inside us, a tool that can calm our mind, reset our emotions, and bring us back to balance. That tool is visualization. Why visualization works? You see, when you visualize, you're not daydreaming, you're guiding your mind to a place of peace and clarity. Science shows that your brain doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. When you visualize calmness, your body reacts as if it's actually there. Your nervous system relaxes. Your stress melts away. Your inner sanctuary. Think of it like this. You have a sanctuary inside your mind. A safe, peaceful space that you can step into at any moment if you take the time to create it. Let's try something right now. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. You're standing on a quiet beach. The waves are rolling in gently, the sun is warm on your skin, and there's a soft breeze on your face. You hear the rhythmic sound of the ocean, the birds overhead, and you feel completely safe, completely still. Can you feel it? Even if just for a moment, your mind slows down. That's the power of visualization. Visualization isn't just fantasy. Some people say, "Isn't that just daydreaming?" No, it's so much more than that. Visualization is a mental tool used by world-class athletes, public speakers, and even leaders before big moments. Athletes often visualize themselves crossing the finish line, feeling the victory, and their bodies respond as if they've already achieved it. If it works for them in high-pressure situations, imagine how it can work for you when life gets overwhelming, when stress starts to take over. A quick 3-step visualization practice. Here's a simple exercise you can do anytime you feel your emotions spinning out of control. Step 1. Find a quiet spot. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Step 2. Imagine a place where you feel completely safe and at peace. It could be the beach, a forest, a cozy room, or even a place from your childhood. Step 3. Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel under your feet? What scents are in the air? The more detail you add, the more your mind will relax. Even 23 minutes of this can change how you feel. A personal moment. I remember a time when I was dealing with back-to-back stress deadlines, responsibilities, and so much noise that I felt like I was drowning. One day, I sat down, closed my eyes, and pictured myself in a quiet cabin in the mountains. I felt the warmth of the fireplace, heard the crackling wood, and imagined the cool, fresh air outside. Within minutes, my breathing slowed. My heart rate dropped. I wasn't in the mountains, but my mind believed I was. That moment of peace gave me the clarity to handle my day. Why we forget to use it? Here's the question. Why don't we do this more often? Because we forget that we can. We get so caught up in reacting to life that we forget we can step back, close our eyes, and create the calm we crave. Visualization for everyday life. Visualization isn't just for moments of chaos. Use it before an important meeting. Picture yourself walking in confident and calm. Use it at night to relax your mind before sleep. Use it when you feel fear. See yourself handling the situation with strength and grace. The more you practice, the more your brain learns to access calmness naturally. A challenge for you. I want you to try something today. When you have 3 minutes to spare, close your eyes and create your peaceful place. Make it as real as possible. The sound, the smell, the feeling. Then, notice how you feel afterward. Do you feel lighter? More in control? More alive? Closing thought. Remember this, your mind can be a battlefield, or it can be a sanctuary. You get to choose which one it becomes. Visualization is your key to building that sanctuary, to creating calm when the world outside is loud. So, the next time life feels like too much, close your eyes. Take a breath and step into the world you create. Because peace isn't always found out there, it's built right here, within you. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to focus on what's wrong? The things that didn't go as planned, the people who upset you, the stress that piles up like a heavy weight on your shoulders. But here's something powerful and maybe even surprising. Gratitude is the ultimate weapon against stress. When life feels like chaos, gratitude shifts your perspective. Instead of drowning in what's wrong, you begin to rise by noticing what's right, even if it's just something small. Why gratitude works? Think about this. Your mind can't be in two places at once. When you're focused on appreciation, it's almost impossible to stay stuck in fear, anger, or anxiety. Gratitude creates a shift in energy. It's like turning on the light in a dark room. Darkness doesn't fight back, it simply disappears. The trap of focusing only on problems. When we focus only on what's missing, our life feels like one big problem waiting to be solved. We think about the job we don't have instead of the skills we do have. We worry about the money we don't have instead of being grateful for the opportunities ahead. We stress about what someone said, forgetting the people who love and support us every single day. But here's the truth. No matter how chaotic life gets, there's always something to be grateful for. A simple question that changes everything. When you feel the chaos taking over, pause and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? It could be something as simple as the fact that you're breathing, having a roof over your head, a friend or family member who loves you, even the lesson hidden inside your current challenge. Gratitude doesn't require life to be perfected, it simply requires you to notice the good that's already here. A story of perspective. I remember a time when I was overwhelmed with stress. Everything felt wrong: work, relationships, even my own health. One day, I decided to write down 3 things I was grateful for, even if they were small. The first day, all I could think of was, I'm grateful for my bed. The second day, I added, I'm grateful for a warm meal. The third day, I wrote, I'm grateful for my breath. It felt simple, almost silly at first. But after a week, I noticed something. The problems didn't vanish, but my perspective changed. I felt lighter, stronger, because gratitude shifted my focus from what was missing to what was already present. Gratitude as a daily practice. Gratitude isn't just a reaction, it's a habit you can build. Here's how you can start. Morning gratitude. Before you pick up your phone, list 3 things you're grateful for. Evening reflection. At the end of the day, write down 3 small wins or moments of joy. In the moment, whenever chaos strikes, ask yourself, what's one good thing I can see right now? Why gratitude is so powerful. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the challenges. It's about balancing the scale. When you can find something to appreciate, even in the middle of a storm, you gain power over your emotions. You stop being a victim of the chaos and start becoming the creator of your own inner peace. A challenge for you. Here's my challenge for you today. Think of one thing, just one thing you can be grateful for right now. It doesn't have to be big. It could be your morning coffee, a kind word from someone, or even the fact that you woke up today. Now, say it out loud. I'm grateful for this. Did you feel that shift? Even for a second? That's the power of gratitude at work. Losing thought. Remember this, gratitude doesn't change the chaos around you, but it changes you. It's like building an anchor in the middle of a storm. The storm may still rage, but you'll stand steady because you're grounded in what's good, what's real, and what's here. So the next time life feels overwhelming, ask yourself, what's one thing I can be thankful for right now? Because even in chaos, there's always something worth appreciating. Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm and steady even when life throws chaos their way? It's not luck. It's not because they don't face challenges. It's because they've trained their mind just like you train your body at the gym. Staying calm is not a one-time skill. It's a habit, a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows stronger with daily practice. Why training your mind matters. You wouldn't wait until a storm is raging to learn how to swim, right? The same goes for your mind. If you only start working on your inner strength when life gets tough, you'll always feel like you're drowning. But if you practice every day, even when things are calm, you'll be ready for any storm that comes your way. Small habits, big results. The good news. Training your mind doesn't require hours of your day. It's about small, intentional habits that, over time, create unshakable mental strength. Here are a few powerful ways to start. 1. Meditation, the gym for your mind. Meditation isn't about sitting still and doing nothing. It's about practicing awareness. When you meditate, even for just 5 or 10 minutes a day, you teach your mind how to pause, how to breathe, and how to focus on what truly matters. Have you ever tried just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and watching your thoughts without judgment? It's like learning how to stand in the middle of a storm and not get blown away. 2. Journaling, clearing mental clutter. When your mind feels heavy with thoughts, worries, and endless what-ifs, writing them down is like taking out the mental trash. You don't have to be a writer. Just grab a notebook and start with a simple question. What's on my mind right now? When you see your thoughts on paper, they stop feeling like a tangled mess. You can process them, understand them, and even find solutions you couldn't see before. 3. Exercise, moving your body, calming your mind. It's no secret that movement changes your mood. Whether it's running, yoga, or even a quick walk, exercise releases tension and clears your head. Think about the last time you took a walk after a stressful day. Didn't everything feel just a little lighter afterward? That's because moving your body helps reset your brain. 4. Time in nature, your natural reset button. Have you ever noticed how time slows down when you're in nature? The sound of birds, the feeling of fresh air, the way sunlight filters through the trees, it's like nature whispers, slow down. You're safe. You're here. Even 10 minutes outside can bring you back to the present moment and recharge your energy. A personal story. I used to be someone who waited for life to calm down before I took care of my mind. I told myself, I'll meditate when I have time. I'll journal when things aren't so busy. But guess what? Life never slowed down. When I started making these practices a daily priority even for just 10 minutes, noticed something powerful. I stopped reacting to every little thing. I felt grounded. I could face challenges with a clear head because I had built mental strength before I needed it. Consistency over perfection. Don't worry about being perfect. You don't need to meditate for an hour or write 10 pages every day. What matters is consistency. Even 5 minutes a day, done consistently, is better than doing nothing at all. Because every time you take a moment for your mind, you're building resilience for tomorrow. A simple challenge for you. Here's what I want you to try. For the next 7 days, pick one practice: meditation, journaling, exercise, or a walk in nature. Commit to just 10 minutes a day. Ask yourself, what changes do I feel after just 1 week of training my mind? You'll be surprised at how much calmer, clearer, and stronger you feel. The bigger picture. Think about this. Your mind is the command center for your entire life. If you train it daily, just like you train your body, you'll not only handle stress better, you'll also find more joy, creativity, and clarity in everything you do. Closing thought. Remember this: mental strength isn't built in a single day, it's built every day. You don't wait for the storm to learn how to stand strong. You train your mind now, so when chaos arrives, you're already ready. So, what's one small habit you can start today? Will you take 5 minutes to meditate? Write down your thoughts? Take a peaceful walk. Your mind is your greatest tool, and just use it. Train it. Protect it. Strengthen it. Because a calm, resilient mind can weather any storm. Chaos will always be a part of life. No matter who you are or where you live, storms will come. We can't control every wave that hits us, but we can always control how we stand in the middle of it. True emotional mastery isn't tested when life is smooth, it's tested when everything feels like it's falling apart, and yet you choose calmness. You choose strength. You choose peace. The power of choice. Think about it. Every single day, you have a choice. Will you let life's chaos control you? Or will you decide that no matter what happens, you'll remain steady like a mountain that stands tall despite the storm? You have that power inside you. You've had it all along. You just have to practice it, nurture it, and remind yourself that peace is not something out there, it's something you create within. Remember these keys. If there's one thing I want you to take from this video, it's this: accept what you cannot change. Don't waste your energy fighting the inevitable. Direct that energy into your response. Breathe deeply. A few slow, intentional breaths can change the way you feel, think, and act in a moment of chaos. Live in the present. This moment right here, right now, is where peace lives. Not in the past. Not in the future. See challenges as lessons. Every obstacle carries a hidden gift, a seed of growth if you're willing to look for it. Protect your inner peace like a treasure. It's the most valuable thing you have, and no one can take it from you unless you let them. The mountain inside you. I want you to imagine something right now. Imagine you're a mountain. The winds blow. The storms rage. Lightning flashes. But the mountain? It stands. It's strong. It's grounded. It's unshakable. That mountain is inside you. No matter what happens outside, you can choose to remain steady inside. And the more you practice the tools we've talked about: acceptance, breath, presence, gratitude, and daily mental training, the stronger that mountain becomes. A question for you. So, let me ask you this. What's the biggest chaos in your life right now? Is it your job, your relationships, your own thoughts? And more importantly, what's one small action you can take today to bring more calm into it? Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's taking 5 minutes to breathe. Maybe it's choosing gratitude instead of fear. Whatever it is, I challenge you to take that step. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear your story. Share in the comments below. What chaos are you facing right now? And what's one way you plan to bring more peace into it? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. You never know how your words could inspire someone else who's watching. A call to action. If you found this video valuable, If it gave you even one tool or one idea to help you stay calm, do me a favor, hit that like button. Share this with someone you know who needs a moment of peace today. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Napoleon Hill's Secrets. This channel is here to give you powerful insights, timeless wisdom, and practical tools to help you master your mind and create a life of clarity, purpose, and success. Final thought. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I want you to remember this: you are stronger than you think. The storm may be loud, but your strength is louder. Your calmness is louder. So whatever you're facing, breathe deeply, stand tall, and trust that the power you need is already within you. Stay calm, stay grounded, and always remember the mountain inside you never moves.